Welcome to another top 10 most epic weapons video. I know this comes way too late and I'm sorry, my apologies to all the Scholar players out there, but here it is, the final video of this series, featuring books and pages full of 10 years of weapon designs that Square Enix have woven into a beautiful collection. However, while making this video there are actually way more awesome weapons in the game, so while this ranking shall serve as a starting point for you to get inspired, don't stop there as there are so many awesome Scholar books in this game already. Starting with rank 10, I could not decide which one is the better version of a book that is ignited by elemental parts representing the primal you get them on, but while doing so they keep a minimalistic touch and design that still doesn't scream for too much attention. Of course you could choose the crafted versions as well, but I really prefer the Ifrit's Codex or the Law of the Level. The first being received by the hard mode of the name-giving trial and the second by dueling Ramuh, which are both really easy tasks with an unsynced level 90 character. Our next contestant actually is a simple version of the Face Crown Codex, which I prefer over the very over-the-top design of Titania's crafted weapon. Therefore you need to tip your toes into Castrum Abania, the level 69 Stormblood dungeon to get it, or take the Fey Codex as a color alternative from the level 73 Shadowbringers dungeon, Dawn Mag. Both offer some playful elements that I absolutely adore and which mix and match well with the Scholar's Fairy Servant, while keeping the tone a bit lower than the Face Crown Codex does. The butterfly sitting on the book's edge is just that small extra feature that makes this book unique, but not over the top, which I do like a lot. Rank 8 then introduces a very special illusion effect, featuring the Cadzius Codex, which actually might be a remodeled weapon, but I could not find the original. This one can be received in Caitisis Hyperborea, another dungeon you can enter on level 87, when reaching a certain progress in the Endwalker main scenario quest. The big eye-catching effect here, the book looks different depending on the angle you're looking at it. From behind, you have a clear cutout where the book pages should be at, but when you take a closer look from the viewer's perspective at the front, there you will find those pages. A very cool design on an otherwise very subtle and pure black book. Oh yes, the Omega Codex is definitely considered eye candy, but as those players playing for these weapons know exactly what they're getting, I actually wanted to give the normal version a try, which you can receive from the Stormblood Savage encounter. And to be fair, this one already has a very distinct design with that energy-filled triangle on the back that you can already see by looking at the top end. That mixed up with the ornamented frame and metallic look makes a stellar choice in my opinion, and a reason to give this fight a solo try if it is possible at all. At least going for it with 2 or 3 people will grant you access to a beautiful weapon that doesn't have to hide behind its ultimate sibling. Like always, chances are very low that you will not find at least one anima weapon contestant on lists like this, because Square Enix just hit a nail on the whole weapon series. That it really seems not only the story and expansion experience of Heavensward is award winning, but its endgame and weapon design too. The Anabasis, or its Lux version, has fairy or even angelic wings on the top end of it, spiraling around like the perfect tool waiting for its master to push out big waves of healing energy. The foundation and base design is also very nice, but rivals heavily for attention with those wings. And in the Lux version they are even larger and match slightly better with the color frame of the Scholar's spell kit, as well as with one or the other fairy. If you're interested in this, check out my Anima Relic speedrun guide to learn how you can get these weapons in about 3.5 hours. I actually don't know why I've been overlooking these weapons on the Summoner, but like the Ifrit and Ramuh version, the Holy Key of Titan is just amazing. I really love the lightning yellow energy waves on the back, while the book's pages remain very dark and bold and overall very subtle compared to many other primal and crafted primal weapons. Even the Holy Key of Tremors, which is the Titan's weapon on steroids, still retains a subtlety that others do lose over their base version. The particle effects are just so much visible that you can see the book's specialty, but you're not offending the purist. The normal Key of Titan can be received by taking down Titan in his hard version, while the Holy Key of Tremors is a crafted weapon that you can also buy from the market board. My next choice leads us to the Academos Recollection that convinced me with little butterflies on the edge of the book, paired up with a discreet placement of magical circles on the back, that ever so slightly give the impression of a relic weapon, but one that doesn't override all of its beauty by the many particle effects being put on top of each other. Ultimate Codex of the Heavens. But the story doesn't end here. At the top we can also find this beautiful little feather rounding up the full academic look, like scholars of old have worn this and infused it with ancient magic. Yes, Shadowbringers relics are kinda difficult to get now, but it might be worth doing so, and as this is not the final stage, chances are higher to get to this point at least. The third spot is a weapon with actual value on top of its pretty design, namely the majestic Mandeville Codex. It was a surprise for all of us that after the initial stage that looked very promising, the second stage delivered such low quality, especially on the particle effects that many jobs and their respective players were quite disappointed about. The majestic stage, however, turns the tides significantly, and I really love the green, orange and yellow color scheme here. But all the little details make this book stand out so much while still keeping the perfect book vibe. Then we also have straps, the feather and tint holder, and everything just screams Scholar, where I'm simply excited to see the final version in some months. The best thing about the whole Endwalker series, which can be the worst for long-time relic grind fans, you can get this by just grinding down some tomestones, which mostly evolves around farming endgame content over and over, while doing your weeklies and dailies constantly. Check out my Endwalker relic guide if you want more info about that topic. Nonetheless, this one is still beaten by the second spot featuring the Organum Animus, which I simply love for the big translucent fairy wings on the back. They are simply breathtaking and reflect the Scholar's traits and features as well as its loyal servant, may it be Celine or Eos. But it is also very minimalistic, not overshadowing the book's appearance that is still clean and solidly animated due to the higher visual fidelity the game offered in Stormblood, compared to the previous expansions at least. On top of that, the mixed brown frame with the inner book part does offer some special uniqueness and still retains the feather in the center. But of course, in contrast to the Endwalker relic, even just this first stage of the Stormblood relic, which you can get in Eureka Animus, is a tough grind at hand, so don't expect this to be falling into your hands for free. But I guess with a group of 4 to 5 people you can still do it. And apart from leveling up your elemental level and doing the one or the other notorious monster, the final boss of Animus is the big deal, which you should still find some people doing the event on the well-populated evening hours. So don't hesitate to hop in there, as this can be very entertaining content with lots of awesome weapons as rewards, heck even awesome LED armor sets on the later stages. As I've put the Kina Grimoire on the top of the list for the Summoner, I cannot ignore its design for the Scholar, right? But to my and I guess many other people's surprise, Square Enix actually introduced a cooler and more badass looking version of the Diablo style weapon, which is the Augmented Hellhound Weapon Arsenal, featuring the winner of this list, the Augmented Hellhound Codex. I just love the ornamented feather holder on the back, glowing like runes binding packs with the one or the other prime evil. And while Diablo 4 wasn't the best Diablo title, I'm still an absolute fan of Diablo 2, and this whole set, but the Codex in particular, really seems to be made for Diablo fans. But I guess even Elden Ring or Dark Souls players will still love them. And even though it is technically a difficult task to achieve at least the diamond rank to earn currency that you can exchange against these beauties, it is not like you have to be a natural born PvP player to get there. Just stay consistent and patient with queuing up for ranked crystalline conflict in the evening hours, and you should be perfectly fine in reaching your desired rank sooner or later. This Codex or the other augmented Hellhound weapons are definitely worth your time. But surely, there are a couple of honorable mentions like the ultimate weapons from all the variations of ultimate encounters, that are definitely among the best looking weapons for nearly all jobs around. Especially the ultimate Dreadworm Codex looks very nice. Some trial weapons or their upgraded version that you can either get from NPCs in Mordona or by crafting them or buying them on the market board, like the true Codex of Ice from Shiva or the Munificent Mug Tome or the awesome Heavensward trial weapon featuring the Song of the Demon, my Stormblood favorite Tsukuyomi's Moonlit Codex, or the best Shadowbringer trial book with the Face Crown Codex. But also the Shadowbringer's final relic stage, the Blade's Wisdom, looks very nice in its Walmart crystals, so definitely worth pushing the questline until the end. Or last but not least, while not being my personal favorite and definitely beaten by rank 1 in basically all of its traits, the Call of the Abyss might be interesting for some healers that tend more towards the dark side. So it is up to you, and I hope that this list will help you out in making a decision, which book might fit into your scholarly needs and deeds and represents you and your fairy friend in all of your might and glory. Thank you all for watching, and a big shout out to my Patreon supporters. You have helped me out a lot in the last 2 years, especially those backing me up for more than 1 or even 2 years in consecution. You are breathtaking, and I appreciate that from the bottom of my heart. So to you and all the others, stay safe, stay healthy, and keep loving Final Fantasy.